having me, guys. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning and we've been doing this since 10 a.m. I'm over it, okay? I told the girls from like the beginning that the guys were doing an alliance and that we should get rid of them. I would love to see Annie out of this game. And I just think it's ridiculous because every chance we had to get rid of them, they like somehow fell for their bullshit. And hopefully she'll go home soon. And like, there's so many more girls, and these dumbass fools duped all of them. I don't know if I'd be too happy if she won. Like, I don't understand why girls can't figure it out to just rise up and like work with one another. She definitely made an enemy of me early on. They'd rather like backstab another chick than work together to win something together. And just trying to make it so she doesn't win things. It's absolutely insane to me. So Annie's on my shit list. It's the eternal struggle, and Susan B. Anthony would be really fucking pissed. Watch these bitches grovel at my feet.
Previously on Big Brother.
I mean, Deanna didn't have a chance, you know? Like, I think Melita just, like, unfortunately did a little bit too much work all at once and then put a target on her back. Who stabbed me in the back, figured out it's Mel and Carly. And then when it was Andrew's turn, it was like, of course he's going to be up next. And he's going to be out. I was surprised that Mel left as early as she did, but she had a target on her back, and obviously she chose to align herself with really sneaky, backstabbing people. I looked over to them shortly after they had told me that, and they had these super guilty, like, lying faces on. I mean, the girl Annie, like, she played so many different angles and like backstabbed a ton of people too. Nicky was like kind of a little snaky. He was hard to catch and like get a real answer from. Nicky is kind of a pawn. I don't really know what else to say about Nicky. Greg's definitely flying under the radar, and he also has Melita to do all the dirty work for him, so he doesn't have to do anything. As much as I think that Matt is pretty conniving, I will give him credit in the fact that he really does play the game well. I was under the impression he was just supposed to be some dumb jock, and I underestimated him. I don't know, I think Matt will probably win this year. When this panel comes of having to berate them with questions, they're about to get nasty as a bitch.
Greg, after I got evicted, you said that you would help me get back in and that you would get revenge for me. Do you think that you did a good job in doing that? Because I don't think you did. So, what do you have to say for yourself? What do you have to say for yourself?
HOH competitions are not like a competition, so I don't know how you would want me to help you get back in the game. But I mean that, and basically the HOH competitions were pretty much all luck. So I mean I couldn't help you with that. But anyway, getting revenge for you, I had to watch out for myself. Getting more into the game, getting further in the game than it was to just get revenge for you and backstabbing a bunch of people in the meantime and losing votes in the jury. So that's why.
So it was better to get the people's love than mine, is what you're saying.
In the game of Big Brother, yes.
Okay. And my only comment for you, Matt, is I'm actually really proud of you because I really thought you were going to backstab Greg the whole time.
It's like an opportunity to backdoor Greg.
Proud of him. Just because I thought he was going to backstab Greg the whole time.
As a player, what do you think your biggest move was?
I think immediately forming the all-guy alliance, but then we kind of like, we had an all-guy alliance, but we split up, and like just trusting the guys was my biggest thing, because that essentially got me to the end.
The one specific move that I think helped a lot was getting Andrew out. That was
Can you flip it to your face?
that was probably the most important thing because I know how he is and how manipulative he is, and I knew that he was going to rally the girls if he stayed in any longer.
Okay, so when I was first voted up, Greg, you made it seem like you were on my side, and you were telling me like all these people that weren't going to vote for me and like help me out. It seems like you were really like trying to help me, and then Matt, you also. So how much was it you guys really wanting to help me, or just like manipulate the whole system and me into thinking that like you guys were on my side, and it was just a game of strategy for you guys?
At that point, we were generally trying to help you because, well, it was either going to be between Carly and Mel, or you, Lauren, you and Samantha, and Annie was like kind of with Matt too. So whoever like won, like whatever head of household, we were gonna like sway to that side, or whatever. Well, that in my opinion, that we were gonna sway to that side to help us advance, to help me advance the game anyway.
You guys like
That was me just legit telling you you have nothing to worry about. Don't stress. No, just being honest. There was no strategy.
So you
to
guys
it.
didn't have like an alliance at that point.
No, we did, but you weren't who we wanted to get out.
Matt, I would venture to say that the only reason you're sitting up there with Greg is because Nick carried you through this game. I think he did, I would say he did most of the majority of the work in that alliance. Well, him and Greg, which I can respect with them. I would say Nick did most of the majority of the work talking to people, making the big moves, and I think you kind of just used him to walk through the game.
I think you're 100% correct, which is why I have Greg up here next to me. Because that's a great point. Everyone would vote for Nick because Nick did all the talking. However, I did win all but like 2 veto competitions, and then the 2 head of households at the end where it really mattered. So Nick may have done all the talking, but oh hell yeah, 3. My bad. Nick did all of the talking, but I was never able to be voted out because I had a veto every single week. And yeah, Nick did all the talking is why he's not up here with me. So that's the answer to my question if anyone asks me why I voted Nick out.
Greg, why should we vote for you over Matt?
I feel like I was competitive in all competitions, and I feel like I had a good strategy coming in, playing a lot both sides, switching back and forth, trying to rally votes for certain people that I wanted gone. And I feel that I did it in a very good way.
I mean, I would just like to know, at what point did you decide, did you know the whole time that you wanted me out versus Andrew, or was there a legitimate flip?
I was always going to keep him in that.
For that week, for what reason?
Because I needed him. I thought I trusted him. In the beginning of the game, I knew that I could trust him, but towards the end, I was going to not trust him.
So like a whole week.
So, well,
A whole hour.
Right.
well, yeah, I needed him. Yeah, exactly. That was like midpoint of the game. Well, not midpoint, but the third person out. And then, so I felt like it was still the beginning, so I could still trust Andrew for at least another week. And then we voted Andrew out the following week because of the way the house wanted. So if I went against the house 2 weeks in a row, then that would put a target on my back. So if Andrew wasn't on the block, that would have been ideal for me, but since he was, I voted for him because the house wanted.
Well, I actually voted to evict Andrew in that week, truthfully. So, I mean, we talked about it, but I said I wanted Andrew out that week. I mean, I knew he would have came back with vengeance if he came back into the game, but I just didn't trust him, and I pulled the trigger, but my teammate and my alliance didn't, which is fine. But it kind of left me out to dry a little bit. But luckily, Andrew got knocked out the next week.
This video's gonna be great.
Boys, why should I vote for either one of you when at the end of the game you lied straight to my face but promised me one thing?
Alright, Mel, I voted you out when you were on the block because I felt that you had an idea of this All Guy Alliance, even though I don't know if it was like established. And I thought you would be the one to like start up a girl thing and get the guys out, because at that point the girls still have the majority by a lot more because Andrew just got voted out the previous week. So I figured since Andrew got voted out, it might start a trend and you would be the one to lead that trend.
Yeah, like the same thing. I thought that you were going to like start a riot in the house and I mean, I really thought that you were gonna put all. I thought that one of you were gonna eventually put up us three at the same time, but it eventually like didn't happen. So we always had 2 votes to go one way. So it just like worked out that way.
Okay, I have a few things to say. First of all, please correct me if I'm wrong, and I might be wrong, but I think that week 1, when Carly was up in the HOH room, and some people were talking to her, everyone else was downstairs, I pulled Nikki into the guest room and said, we need to start an all-guy line. And so all of this credit of Guy Alliance being such a success, it's not a success if the person who starts the alliance doesn't make it to the end. And doesn't get credit for it. And doesn't get credit for it. So correct me if I'm wrong there.
You were
You
started the idea. You mentioned it, but you were never in the alliance.
Don't tell me I'm not in the alliance when we meet outside and say, alright guys, we need to figure out how to make sure the girls don't catch on to us. We need to make sure Matt throws me under the bus a little bit. We need to make sure that we break off and create different alliances with the girls. So,
Yeah, this is absolutely all true. However, while this is true,
None of that happened.
No, it did. He like said like go up and tell Annie to put me on the block, so like she doesn't think that we're working together. But like that just like worked for me. Like I knew that like the whole time I was
an alliance of convenience.
like it was an alliance of convenience sort of. Like for the same reason. Alright, so before I said like I knew I could trust you in the beginning, and that's all I planned on trusting you for the whole time.
Second, Greg, I thought I could trust you because we made a deal to stick together. And not only did I think I could trust you, I thought I had your vote. I said I would use my Diamond Power veto on you to help you advance and help all of us advance. I want to know specifically what you thought I was going to do. What did you foresee me doing had I stayed in the game? One specific is how I would have hurt your game had I stayed.
Yeah, I told you before. I told you in the previous.
I want specific.
Okay.
Yeah.
You would have rallied the girls, and you would have gotten us 3 out. You would have put us 3 up, and you would have gotten us 3 like the majority of the house to vote for us.
You didn't believe me. Last question.
I just didn't. It's a shame that I didn't just walk to the house and meet you here, because I would have probably believed you. But I know your personality, and I know you probably would have backstabbed all of us.
I wouldn't have this time.
There's no there is absolutely 0 chance that you would have taken any of us 3 to the finals.
I didn't have any ties to Mel. I didn't have any ties to Sam and Lauren. I didn't have any ties to Annie. I
that's
didn't have any ties
you only
to
lasted 4 weeks though. There's a lot more.
I didn't
weeks,
have any
so.
official ties to anyone. Yeah, I talked to them and tried to get them to keep me to stay because I was on the block so much. But I didn't have alliances with anyone except for you 3. Last question. Matt, do you think Big Brother is a game of winning your way to the end or manipulating your way to the end?
I think it's 100% a way of manipulating your way to the end. And this is corny, but like last night I was thinking about strategies, and my idea was to get 3 people who are in a secret alliance and then split up throughout the house. However, then Nikki came to me with this idea of your idea, and it was basically my idea except with 4 people, and 2 people split up. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. And then it just so happened that I was allowed to compete as veto and I won. So although I felt like I did win my way through, I don't feel like that's how the game is normally.
Alright, I think we're ready to vote. One by one, I'll read the jury's votes. Remember, these are votes for the person to win Big Brother Finals. First up, 1 vote. Greg, it's a little hard.
100 votes.
Next vote. Matt, was a little little explanation that says, because even though he fucking voted me out,
No.
he's my brother, fuck Greg. Next vote. Greg. Next vote. Matt.
You looking at me?
Next vote. Greg. Matt. Greg. Next vote. Greg, the winner of Big Brother 5 by a vote of
You go to sleep.
6 to 3.
Greg! Woo! Good job.
I vote for Greg to win because he's my honey.
So, we are voting for Greg. Because he's my cousin. That's really the only reason. I
Blood
don't
is
want either
thicker
one
than
of you to
water.
win. So.
No, I'm really pissed.
Okay.
Greg, seriously, come on.
I vote for Greg to win Big Brother 5. Because he's my brother. And hopefully he'll buy me food with that money. And that didn't bring me. So that's it.
I actually respect Greg for mistrusting me because of my past history, but I really wouldn't have betrayed them just because the guys didn't have the numbers. I needed them, and they needed me, but obviously not because they made it. Because I think he played the better game in terms of winning competitions and avoiding the block time after time. Even though he's a big target, I vote for Matt to win Big Brother 5.
For my vote for who wins Big Brother, while Greg did keep his word, and I did find out for certain that he told me he wasn't voting for me, and he didn't. I think that had less to do with me and more of the fact that he had a larger hatred for Andrew. And I'm gonna vote for Matt to win because even though he's a total scumbag, I think that he played the game as a genius. He used every single asset that he has to manipulate and persuade everyone to do all of his dirty work, and his hands were hardly dirty. You can't pinpoint it because he used Nikki as a mule, he used Greg, and then he used his charisma to woo the ladies that he had brought in to do all the dirty work and turn on other girls. So kudos to you, Matt. You're the epitome of a slime ball, but you played a good game, so congratulations.
I'm going to vote for Greg to win Big Brother because Matt, you burn bridges. You shouldn't have been the one to take the fall and have to branch out because you made enemies. Bye.
I'm gonna vote for Greg to win. I think I said this from the start. Greg, you were a wild card, and I think I never knew what you were doing, who you were voting for, who you were talking to, and so I think you played a way better strategic game. I think you were always in it, trying to win it, and even though you really never won any big competitions, but you went veto a couple of times, you still managed to stay in the game, and so you were doing something right. I think, Matt, you just floated through the whole game using Nick and using Greg, and you claim you have a strategy, but I think you just got lucky in all those competitions, which helped you move along. They definitely should have put you up sooner. And I told you, should have just brought me to the end and you probably would have won, but hopefully everyone sees that Greg played a better game than you did and that you get second place, buddy.
undetectable.
Good job, Greg.